What's going on, interwebs? How's everybody doing tonight? I've got a creepy guy hiding behind me right now. This is Joe. Joe shows up at my house from time to time. Let's see.
And buy stuff.
Buy stuff, yeah. Stuff. Alright, let's see if we can get this mic in a position that's optimal. I don't know. Hang on, wait. What if I do like a studio? Just be like,
yeah.
Professional, yeah. Look at that.
You already got the casting couch.
There's the casting couch, yeah. So, Joe and I are taking a look at the ZYLtech Gear Version 2. Is it going to be... Hang on, let me get some YouTube reviewer clickbaity stuff. Is this the next CR-10 killer? Let's find out. I have no idea. It's still sealed. Best printer under $400. Mrah! Click my article. Affiliate links. YouTube. Subscribe. Bam. All right, let's get into this. Let's see here. Pop out chat. Let's put the chat up on the big screen. Whee! There we go. We can read everybody. You need a naked and afraid mic. What? That machine looks like a Creality with a ZYLtech sticker.
It looks like something else with a ZYLtech sticker.
I suspect it's made by the same company that does Bluer or Two Trees. So we'll find out. Let's see.
Aaron, when are we going out for your birthday?
Can you guys hear Joe?
Catch that? I'm sure she.
Let's see. I think you should be able to hear Joe. Let me turn. There we go. I'll turn the gain up.
Yeah, they can hear me.
Gain up a little bit on the mic. I have it in omnidirectional mode, so it's not going to be as clear as it usually is. Oh, this is like... You were saying they should use real tape. This is...
They wouldn't have to do this if they use the strand reinforced stuff.
Well...
That's rated for this weight.
Come on! There we go. I was like, what the hell? Oh, there's a business card in here.
For Chris Hodjock. That's the guy who's on like Facebook and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. One of the reps.
Yeah, he's the technical manager.
All right.
He's not the coolest there though.
No.
No.
What
Not
is...
even my girl Crystal.
Crystal.
Yeah.
All right. What do we do with these samples?
Throw them away.
Oh, just realized there's my invoice in here. Oh, they're using ShipStation. I know what this looks like. This is a ShipStation invoice.
I've gotten those before too.
All right, let's see. We have unpacking instructions.
Two samples of PLA.
Two samples. You have to talk up a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
Use your outdoor voice, Joe.
Well, I'm quiet and dainty.
Oh, let's see. We got... Oh, it's got a Robin Nano in it. All right.
Oh, yeah, I remember them saying that.
What is... okay. I think this is what... No. Oh, you know what had this? The Bluer had this board in it, because I have it sitting in my drawer. All right. Let's get on with the unboxing here. What did this cost? $400. We don't have Discord open right now. Let's see. All right. Well, there's a big bed sheet. Branded bed sheet.
Ooh, that's
spool holder. Is it? Oh, it's kind of
compared to like your guys' stuff. And unknown adhesive.
Ooh, it's got a volcano style block or heater block. We've got just some generic 4010 fans in here for the blowers. There's no ducts at all.
Nope.
Really?
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest complaints I've heard about it is...
Why wouldn't you put ducts on the... Like, you're just... Like... Okay, whatever. We'll see.
It has a hard time with benchies, from what I understand.
The China Special Blue cable. All right, here, you want to get the base out? Here, let me... Oh, wait. Hang on. Okay. Well... Oh... Are these, no, these are not Gates. Oh, no. These are the Gates knockoffs. Okay.
Yeah. Well, these are...
These are not, So these I've
branded?
seen. These are not branded. So these are actually Gates clones. These are just standard GT2 belts that they put like a color coating on to make them look like they're Gates.
Well, let me see the edge. If you see the edge, is there any strands coming off of it?
There's. Here, look at it.
Yeah. No, especially not this
right
top
there,
one.
Right there. There's nothing.
There's
probably strands in there, but this color belt, I've seen these before. I've gotten samples from our suppliers. They work, but they're made to look like they're Gates belts, but they're not.
This closed loop has no.
All right, is that it? Is that everything out of there?
You'll often see the strands sticking.
That's it.
The tops and bottoms.
The dog is like, oh no.
That's how you can really tell if your belts are half decent.
Why is there masking tape on here?
That's weird. Probably because they tested it and probably mounted something to the side. Is there something that gets mounted?
The brackets for the upright.
Yeah. Is there? Yeah. There's masking on the other side, so it doesn't get scratched most likely.
Interesting.
That's weird though. You would think they'd take that off. Micro SD card slot.
Yep. Pretty standard.
Yeah. About time to see full size SDs or USBs.
Let's see. That's pinched.
Got a fuse power switch.
That's standard.
Yeah. Let's see what kind of fuse is in it.
There's tools right there. Roll it. Pokey. There's pokey tools. Pokey and grabby tools. That's probably what you want.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Make sure keeping an eye on chat. Is it dual Z? It looks like it's dual Z mode.
It is dual Z, but the belt between them does not look like.
Oh, Dave Randolph is in here. Who needs ducks? Quack quack.
Hey Dave. Love you long time.
Mr. Buttram's in here too.
I think it's tough.
Canadian Maker Project, aka Ron, 3D Print Viking, aka Tom. Derek is in here. Ben Stanley. Is the Robin Nano good or bad? It's just a cheap board. It's not, let me put it this way, it's not one of MKS's best boards.
This is a 5 amp fuse.
Okay. I mean, that's
pretty
adequate.
small.
Well, that's adequate for probably what this is doing.
Yeah, maybe.
We're going to build
You'll
it.
probably be right at the
We're going to save it prints.
And it does come with a spare.
It does come with a spare?
Yes.
Oh.
And it's a fast play. I would recommend anybody who has one of these, or any like a fuse switch, get a fast blow fuse, not a slow blow.
Is that a fast blow?
Yes.
Okay. So it looks like all we have to do, so the unpacking instructions here, which enhance. All right.
What am I doing wrong here? Oh.
So there's all these, so this is the documentation. Unpacking instructions, okay. There's no filament. There was no actual filament in here, was there?
Yes, there was two.
No, a roll. It's showing a roll.
Oh, no.
There's no roll, okay. We're going to do 4 4x8 screws on either side to bolt the gantry, and then it looks like we connect the cables. The X gantry, you can see here. Connect the XY limit switch.
They've got a new shop.
What?
Aaron says congrats on the new shop.
Is it?
Oh, Dave doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking about.
What? What's going on?
Dave doesn't know what Aaron's talking about either.
Oh.
Dave said the same, the new shops for quite a while.
Yeah, David didn't get a new shop. Spares are good. I'm afraid I didn't understand. Dual motors and end stops.
Yeah, see, that's what confuses me, Dave.
What?
It's a 5 amps fuse with a 12 volt bed.
Is it 12? You sure it's not 24? Hang on, these
24.
fans are 24.
Okay, so it's 24?
Yeah.
I wonder what it's actually pulling though. Dang.
This looks like two trees style stuff because this is the same mounting.
Two trees. Okay, I got something.
If you say the wrong thing, the internet's going to eat you alive.
All right, I'll look up my chats from somebody who got one of the beta units.
Well, I mean, once we open it up, we can tell. We'll be able to tell. But I mean, these brackets are the same as a two trees bluer. Just the styling of all this is very bluer-esque. All right, let's assemble it and see if it works, and then we tear into it.
Food's here.
Our food's here. I guess we can eat some food on while we're building this. What do you think?
That works.
No,
No, I was moving anyway.
Oh.
I thought you were going back. Trying to figure out where we first talked about it.
Get some numbs. Woohoo! Yeah, 5 amps is the mains. Yeah, Joe, you should know that.
What?
The mains. AC is not going to pull a ton of
No,
power.
I understand 5 amps is for the mains.
You sure?
It's not the first time I've done this.
You sure? It's like you've never built a printer before.
Yeah. A few hundred.
1 year? Yeah, I mean, I think, Dave, we moved into our new place about the same time you did yours, if I'm correct. Oh, it's got little flexi couplers, so
Yeah,
I am unwrapping.
yeah.
I'm unwrapping all this plastic wrap off the Z-rods. It's weird that this belt is just like flapping about. A knife?
Cut the. It's got foam. You can just cut it with the knife.
Knife. A knife. Cut it with the knife. Mr. Fancy Pants. The packing's pretty decent on here.
Yeah.
Now, we bought this printer. They did not send this to us for a review. I don't know if they would have sent us one for a review. But we bought one because people were asking about it. People were asking about firmware and upgrades. And I guess there's some other things with it that people wanted my input on.
When I first heard about it, I said, I think you should look at it for upgrades.
Yeah. Well, if it's got the Robin Nano, I should be able to do some Marlin magic on it. Nice little tensioner here.
That's all aluminum.
All right. Well, now that I have a second set of hands, we can get this put together easier. Yeah, these brackets are almost identical to the ones that Bluer had. I wouldn't know because I threw them all out after I trashed that printer.
I just want to know what power supply it has, because then I'll know if that 5 amps is enough.
We'll open it up.
Okay.
Gotta be patient. Gotta be patient.
Okay. I'm just worried about the peak draw.
Here's these. You can use it. I'll give you the T handle. Probably a 3 mil.
Most likely.
Nope, it's 2.5. Yep, there you go.
I only work with T handles.
I know you're high maintenance.
I'm a classy bitch.
High maintenance.
Yep.
No, look at that. My bald spot on camera. Look at that. It's
Which
great.
one?
I know there's 2 bald spots on this stream.
There's too many bald spots.
Hang on. Let's, hang on. Wait. Let me get a better angle here. Hang on.
Or bald spots?
Well, now we got the bellies. Yeah, you know what? I guess this is the angle we're going to take. Oh, yeah, Joe. Look at that.
Oh, that's
Oh,
sexy
yeah.
beast.
Sexy beast. Look at that. All right. Okay, hang on. Let me get mine in here. Come on. All right. You having a hard time there, bud?
Nope.
Remember, don't tighten them down. We gotta like angle everything, or like line everything.
Yeah.
Get all aligned.
And the bolt holes, please, do have a decent amount of slot, like.
What?
Outline.
Come in. What? Oh, her hands are full. You're closer. Oof. Roof, roof. Oh, shush. Shush.
Aw, so sweet. Thanks.
Thank you,
You're
dear.
taking the dog.
Just leave the door open.
Okay.
It's fine. Claire Bear, we have food. Come here. We have food. Come here.
Yours over here.
Yeah, you can munch on yours. I'll snack on mine once we.
Let me get these.
Let's keep an eye on chat. Let's
Hey.
see. They
Oh,
look.
shit. Clearly.
Confirm squareness after install of the bolts. Would you think Two Trees made this for them? I think it's a plausible thing. What do you think, Joe?
I think it's highly plausible.
There's a lot
And
of
I've also
similarities.
heard that, so. But
You've
we'll
heard it?
see.
You've heard rumors?
I've heard rumors. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
That's a special word.
But at least you're dealing with ZYLtech and not Two
Look
Trees
at that
to support.
heatsink. That thing is monstrous.
That's what she said?
Yeah.
Alright, so
Not
I'm
huge.
gonna get like mine. I'm gonna just eyeball this. This looks pretty good over here.
Is that how you build printers?
Yeah.
That's why you stick with upgrades, right?
Yeah.
That looks good. I'll eyeball it.
Well, you can always go back and loosen up. They got the springy couplers on here.
Which is weird because...
The question is, did they level the gantry before they locked it in? This is touching over here. Is that touching over there? Okay.
But they make, or they sell Palm couplers. You would think they would have, if they were, I don't know. I think they should upgrade to those.
Well, they could upsell. So you upsell.
Yeah.
Upsell. All right. How many fat guys does it take to build a printer?
Too many.
Apparently 2.
Yeah.
The quicker we get this done, the quicker I can eat. Because then I can eat while it's printing. I'm optimistic here. I think it's going to print.
I'm sure it'll print.
Now, the question is, do you think they're powering these up? Because they're a US-based company. Do you think they're powering these up before they
I
ship them out?
think they are.
Yeah?
I think that's why you have the tape on it.
Okay. Yeah, to like prevent marring?
Yeah.
Alright, did you plug the Z motor in?
No. I was checking the wheels to make sure that they were not slipping.
Plug it in!
Oh,
Okay, this is...
copyright strikes for that.
This is not...
Labeled?
How do I know what plug is what? I mean, I can infer that maybe the one with the 2-pin...
Well, the 3 pins
the 3
here.
pin, I'm assuming the 3 pins for the filament sensor up top.
Yeah, and the extruder. It does have a metal extruder.
It does. Alright. Like, this looks like the 2 trees cables, too. Alright. The X end stop plug.
And the Y's already done.
Yeah,
inside.
it's built in. Alright. So the main issue I had with 2 trees was their lack of support. So
normally you get a response from ZYLtech pretty darn quick.
Yeah, no, they're pretty good. I haven't heard bad things about their service. So they're also in the US, so there's
Yeah, they're down there, right by Houston, I do believe.
Alright, you wanna put this on?
Okay.
This is already like
Yeah, so you just slip this on.
Yeah. So that gets slipped on here.
So assembly only really takes what, 20 minutes if you really don't know what you're doing?
Yeah. Let's see.
Over on the back.
You think they would trim this though? Like,
yeah.
Where's the T handle? Let's see here.
With this, are those actually T-nuts?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. With that, I would suggest going with, instead of the after assembly nuts, do the pre-assembly nuts, because then you can still slide it in, and then you don't have to worry about them twisting the lock.
So this should really be cut short right here. That's way too long.
Your snips.
That's way too long.
This is just going to wind up in your idler, and then you're going to get a little step.
Yeah, so there's this much extra.
Yeah. You'll end up getting, because it was underneath, so it would definitely go into your idler.
Yeah.
And then you're just going to get a step if you go to your far
so
right-hand side of your x-axis.
All right.
Which is max. It's a weird install.
The Z's on there. That's the Z.
Oh.
It's the Z.
They're both on one. I got you.
Yeah, instead of mounting it to the printer, it's mounted to the gantry. All right, so I'm going to assume this is going to go over like this. Let's make sure it's not tangled. And then...
It's only held on by 2 bolts?
It's 2 bolts. That's it for the whole assembly.
Ooh, that's sketch. It'd be nice to have a third at the bottom.
Yeah, there's 2 screws here. They're little two M3s, looks like?
That's like a 2.4.
They're 2 M3s.
Yeah, that's 3. It's weird.
2 M3 screws hold the whole thing on.
Fancy. At least they're not using stainless for that.
Yeah. No, they're good. Alright. Let's see. Woo! Can anyone tell me if upgrading Ender 3 to direct drive is worth the effort? In my opinion, no. What do you think, Joe?
Haven't done it. But I mean...
Hashtag direct drive master race?
Direct drive is really nice.
Oh, I was about to say, was there no power cable in this? And I saw it's right here.
But how much money are you wanting to throw into an Ender 3? Like, the things I did was their probe, the second lead screw.
It did include...
I think that was it.
It did include a spare nozzle and PTFE fitting. This takes Volcano-style nozzles. In case anybody was wondering. Alright. Is it going to work? What do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
It'll kick.
SD card. ZYLtech's logo.
It's a decent screen.
It's the MKS screen.
Yeah. I mean, I don't play with these screens.
Whoa! I almost just lost my SD card.
Oh,
inside the printer. There's a gap on the slot down here.
Oh, I can see the power supply right there.
Alright, so there's no information on actually using it, so we're just going to have to use our noggin here. I'm going to home. It's home X. Sounds like they're using Trinamics or something that's quiet. Y. Oh, that's loose. I need to tighten that up. I'm assuming this is the tensioner here.
So this has Wi-Fi?
Does it? Oh, no, it's got a socket for it, for an ESP chip.
It looks like it's got, well, on this picture, it's got the antenna.
No, that's just a silk screen.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's for an ESP. Alright, I like the tensioners.
Oh,
Tensioners are nice.
I see the header now.
Alright, so let's home all. Oh, it sounds like they're using 4988s on the Z.
Yeah, they...
well, I mean, which I approve of.
What I was told was they are different drivers. I think they're 2208s and 2209s for the... You were
the XY.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like when I was speccing out our stuff, I wanted to use 2208s for the X, 2208s for the Y, and 4988s for the rest.
I really don't like...
Is this mine?
Yes.
Okay. We got some food from a local place. What's everybody up to? Let's see. Does the bed have strain relief? Yeah, it does. It's got a little bracket in the back. My CR-10 Max is a pile of warm melted mainboard and NEMAs. Do they include zip ties? They did. Okay.
You put a Hemera on your Ender 3?
Yeah, a lot of people put Hemeras on Ender 3s.
Wow. I mean, compared to like the Titans, you actually get quite a bit for your buck. With the Hemeras. If you can find them, good luck.
I have one. It's not on anything yet.
Yeah, I have quite a few of them that are just sitting there.
Alright, you want to mount the spool holder? Apparently there's number 36, so whoever 36 is at their company. Do they have 36 people?
No. Nah, unless they have a bunch of warehouse people. I know, I only talked to 2 people there. I talked to the owner like once. But other than that, it's mostly Crystal. And then one other girl that works in...
Crystal, I've seen her name about
Crystal's
before.
great.
Alright, here you go. What is that? It's probably a 2.5. Or you're probably going to want the regular these for that. And I got a roll
It's
of...
a 3.
It's a 3? That look like a 3? And I got some Sunloop PLA here. I don't use the samples. I hate the samples. Why 48 on Z and E but not X and Y? Why didn't it make sense to put 22.8 on all? No. 4988s on Z are going to give it more torque, and your Z doesn't make much noise during printing, so it's a cost-cutting measure, and in my opinion, it's better to have it on the Z because you're going to get more torque.
If your Z's moving fast enough for you to hear it, you got some issues.
3D Jimmy's in the hospital right now. That's really sad. He's a really good guy. He's a regular on our channel. Their site says they use 0.9 degree steppers instead of 1.8. Is that true?
I wouldn't suggest it for this, but probably.
What's the part number on the stepper? Like, what's on... there's a part number on them. Yeah, 0.9 degree stepper motor. Okay.
Yep.
Is it?
17HS 4401.
Hang on, 17HS 4401.
Yep, S dash 0.9.
Dash 0.9.
Yeah, but that may not be part of the part number.
Yeah, it is. It came up. Yeah, it's a 0.9.
I don't think you're going to see that much of a benefit in this.
You're not going to see a benefit of the 0.9 degrees. It's just bragging rights. All right, let's see. So printing, they do have a calibration cube. Do they have like a leveling wizard? They do.
Nice.
Okay, so 0.1. It's gonna home. I'm just gonna put vision miter around the bed instead of
that stuff.
Yeah. All right. Let's level this bed.
I think that's thicker than standard paper.
Huh?
I gotta get a good first layer.
I'll make it work. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Where?
I'm just saying.
Oh, look at this.
That might need to be tightened.
Do they have eccentrics? They do. All right. Well, do they include a wrench? They did. Okay. Well, let's adjust the eccentrics because this bed is loose. Well, that Z's kind of binding up a little bit. All right. I was like, that's pretty. So there's eccentrics on this side here.
Yeah.
Let's, check the wheels. They have a bolt through the carriage plate that hits the end stop. Ooh. Whoa, 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 whoa. Like, feel it.
Yeah. Well, I can see it.
Hang on. Is this too tight? Hang on. Feel it now. I just loosened it up a little.
Nope.
Nope. Is this one of these too tight? I barely even turned this eccentric nut. No, that wheel's good. Is this one too tight? Oh, this one they tightened up too much. That might be it.
One thing I don't understand about a lot of these things is they always put 3D in just random out of context places. As if you don't know.
I didn't know this was a 3D printer.
You didn't?
Oh, it's not the wheels.
It's not?
It's not.
It may be.
It's the. I think it's the pulley.
It could also be. I don't know.
I don't know if you guys see this. So, like, if I push on it at equal pressure, okay, it like has more resistance. I think it's the pulley. It feels like the pulley. Meaning, this pulley.
Or this idler.
It's either the pulley or the idler. One of these is. That's pretty bad. This one's like
this
that
is
too.
weird though.
Feel that?
Yeah, that's gritty. Stuff just fell out of it.
Okay, I'm gonna loosen up the belt tension. As soon as you get any sort of tension on it, is it the? Yeah, I'm gonna plug this.
That's what I'm wondering, is if that stepper motor is just grabbing a lot of resistance.
I wonder if it's the idlers. Like these idlers here.
Yeah. I mean, cheap idlers will do that. But I'm not expecting
Yeah, look at this. It is. It's kind of
wonky.
Yeah, a little bit. All right. Well,
it depends on how you press the bearing in.
Yeah.
Do
you hear that? Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah.
Right here. I'll loosen this up. It's still there. As soon as the belt's at the proper tension. Whoa, Well, let's see how
Got a question.
how it works.
Are you going to add easy AVL support for this printer?
I don't know if we can run Marlin. I think this board can run Marlin. So if it can, the answer would be yes. Just because their Z end stop, it's so bad. Their Z end stop is right here. It'll be a little more involved just to get the Z signal cable, but.
Someone's asking about ferrules. Also,
Oh,
anyone
what?
else have an opinion on ferrules? On like what kind of ferrules? Bootlace ferrules? If so, use them. Don't half-ass a build by not using bootlace ferrules and just using bare wire, because you can burn electronics pretty easily.
22/8 on X and Y. Okay, so that's what I figured. I have their page up. Yeah. So the thing is. I wonder if they're using MKSs or another brand, because the Bluer, they had problems with the 2208s. What?
If you look at this, when the head's way over here, the belt sits in the channel. But when it's up here, that belt's gonna wear on the edge of that extrusion. Yeah.
Well, let's see how it is. All right, let me level.
He's going to use Vision Miner on the bed instead of glass or their like knockoff build tack like material. I wouldn't think the belt.
So here's the thing. I'm already at the extension of the springs, and I can't do this. So I have to move this up.
If you look at this, it's cockeyed too.
I have to move the. Oh, this wheel's floating here. These are actually spinning freely, but this is. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
What did AV say? That's pretty. How you doing?
Yeah, how you doing?
How you doing? So I got to move this end stop down to actually be able to get it to level.
Are you gonna get an easy AVL Marlin support for any cubic i3 negative?
It's on my list, but I don't have an ATA. I've got a lot of stuff on my list though.
By the way, the person who asked about ferrules, just go on Amazon, buy a nice.
Where's the 2.5? Oh, fair.
Yeah. And you can get a set of all the different sizes of ferrules with it, and it's a lifesaver. Just do it. It's like $25, and it's something you'll keep forever.
Come on! Oh, this is.
Yeah, there's only one bolt for it, so it just spins, and it's sitting cockeyed.
I just need to hit the end stop. That's it.
Yeah, but it kind of makes it hard to make it flat if there only being one bolt.
Okay, so I got more. All right. Now I put it too low. I think. Hang on. Let me put these springs all the way down. Yep, it's come up a little now.
CR-10 V3. It's direct drive E3D type.
CR-10 V3 is a V2 with the direct drive stock. That's
they started shipping E3D.
Yeah, it's just the V2 with the direct drive included. It's good. Otherwise, it's the same machine.
It's good to see that they're working directly with E3D.
Yeah.
He's gonna put Vision Miner on the aluminum, and it'll just do fine.
Yeah.
Vision Miner is like cheating.
It's magic. All right, let's try this again.
I'm sure you can print up plywood if you just put some Vision Miner on it.
Yeah, like I said, the V3, you can get the V2. For the V2, you can actually get the direct drive upgrade, but the V3 is just the V2 with the direct drive upgrade already installed.
Yeah, now you show up.
Of course she does. There is only the light right now. We named it that because that's our first board, and that's going to be like the, well, not going to be, it is. It's the, like, just your entry-level, like, single extrusion board. So the plan is to release one, you know, with, like, the Pro naming convention that'll do dual extrusion, which we are working on. So we're just taking our time with it so we make sure we get it right.
Yeah, it does kind of matter, Darren, because putting a genuine
V2 is not a clone. I know people that have the V2.
He's saying the extruders.
Oh, well, the V2 doesn't come with a Titan extruder. It comes with their just regular aluminum one. It doesn't come with a Titan. You can buy the direct drive kit, and I actually have one on order, so we can get the V3 supported, because, like I said, the V3 is just the V2 that comes with the Titan. That's all it is.
It's nice that they are doing E3D's direct stuff, just because E3D puts a lot of development into the community.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see them actually supporting the people who are putting all that money forward for that.
Well, I've been more concerned about the quality, too, because there's a lot of crappy Titan clones.
Absolutely.
Like, we have Titan clones that are really good, but it took us a while to get there. There's actually been a lot of printers on this channel where they've had Titan clones that are pretty how you doing. I'm just manually leveling this. This is like interesting. So this is held on by the fan.
Yeah. Oh, and the top of the, oh no, the hot end. Yeah.
So there's two bolts here. The hot end block goes there. Then the fan goes on the block, and this holds.
I don't like that.
It ain't dumb if it works.
No, I wouldn't say that. I have not manually leveled a printer in probably.
I mean, this is kind of grabbing. The corners are definitely a little bit higher than the center. All right, so I'm going to preheat this. Let me put the heated bed to 60. I'm going to put the hot end. All right. Just tell me where I'm at. Printing, because I want to load filament in here. Let me home that. I'm going to tell it to move up so I can put Vision Miner around here. All right. The Sunlu. All right. Come on.
Are you thinking of supporting this printer? I think it all depends.
Yeah, it depends on the board, firmware, Marlin. I think the Robin Mini or Nano, is a Mini or Nano that's in here? Nano. I'm pretty sure the Nano is supported in Marlin.
They said that they state on the site that it's Marlin.
Well, yeah, it's running Marlin in the back end.
They didn't even send a spool of ZYLtech filament with the printer. That's what makes no sense.
Yeah, there is no ZYLtech filament here.
I would have expected at least a spool of PLA with it. That's their big thing.
Okay. Alright, so grab the little brush.
Oh.
The bed is heating up.
I use these for cleaning off my taps on my cat bar.
Do you?
Yep. You get them from
they come
Harbor
with
Freight?
it. They come with it.
Oh no, I get mine from Harbor Freight.
You know, they come with the Vision Miner.
Yeah. I think I got mine for free, so.
So I'm just going to put it in the center of the bed here.
It smells addicting.
Except I don't like that these brushes, sometimes the bristles shed like it's doing.
Yeah.
You know?
So what I do with the one from Harbor Freight is they take pliers and pinch them before I use them.
Alright. So, I got the SD card in. Let's, they got a CaliCube.G code, and that's
something cooler.
That's it.
That's it?
Confirm. Alright. Let's see if she works.
Oops.
Is this a rebadge of another printer? I think,
think so.
I think it's made by, I think like the OEM is the same OEM as Two Trees.
They're not manufacturing in Texas.
No, they're not manufactured. It's a Chinese machine.
The box says made in China, and they're in Texas. Turn the extruder 90 degrees counterclockwise so eliminate all the twisting.
Yeah, it's printing.
I don't get it.
It's stuck. Alright.
It says, would it make sense for manufacturers to turn the extruder 90 degrees counterclockwise to eliminate the twisting?
I don't understand.
I'm thinking they're saying move it, like tilt it up, but then you gotta go back up.
Yeah.
If that's what you mean.
Alright, well, while this is printing a calibration cube, you can ask us questions and we're going to eat our dinner.
I already ate.
You already ate?
I'm too fat to wait. I don't think I've eaten today either, so.
Whatever excuse you got to use to justify your fat behavior, Joe.
I don't remember, actually. I drank too much last night. What's for dinner? Tim got a BLT with extra bacon, and I got an Italian beef.
Italian beef?
Italian.
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 Italian what?
I'm from the cornfields.
So she's printing. Trying to get the damn thing in focus.
BLTs and where it's at.
You still have your Zingy Bot capsule? No, I gave that away a while ago. It's pretty loud for a 2208. There's a lot of groaning. But hey, it's printing out of the box. That shroud says don't watch. I can't do this when you watch. This is a weird slice file. Look, it's doing the infill side to side. You see that? Joe?
What?
It's doing the infill side to side.
No, I think she's doing another layer.
No, but it's filling in side to side. Usually you do like 45 degree. Yeah. It's like alternating. Spread cycle or stealth chop? I'm assuming stealth chop. Yeah, Sony A6000. Tom knows what we got. This is also an A6000 here. The sound's probably from the bed you couldn't push, not the 2208.
Probably is resonating through the box.
Can you guys hear that? Because I realize I have my mic turned up louder than normal since Joe's in here. And I want to pick up most of the voice in the room. But obviously we're going to have more other sounds come through.
See, this is the printer I was told that this is.
Well, this is a 230 by 280.
Well, it was like they modified it, supposedly. They requested modification.
Look at the brackets. The brackets are identical.
Yeah. That's what I was told by the person who was offered a beta.
That's a bluer. That's the one I scrapped.
I know. That's what I'm telling you. I think I told you that when I was talking to you about it.
Alrighty then.
Man, the image is pretty damn good on that print.
The TH3 firmware upgrade it to my music Gen L2 at home.
What?
I haven't messed up the Gen L2. There's a Gen L2.
Yes, the bottom of the print does look like garbage.
Well, I could have smushed it a little more, and I am using Vision Miner, but I mean, I guess
it's just that side though.
Yeah, it's just that side where it started.
Yeah.
Is there a PLA shortage? Yes, there is actually. I was talking to if Dave's still in here from Printed Solid. Him and I were discussing that because there's like 2 or 3 companies that actually make pellets.
I know. Atomic's biggest problem right now is the fact that they can't keep up. They had to set aside a special day just to make me some dark cherry red for the rail cores.
Okay, so the Gen L2 just has UART headers and like TMC headers. But if it's homing fat, it's probably because you don't have your steps per millimeter, or not. It's either steps per millimeter screwed up, or you don't have your jumpers correctly set for the drivers you're using. So, like, you might be expecting it to be in 1/16 stepping mode, but you're actually in, like, 1/8, which is going to double the speed the motor moves. So, it's probably going to be a configuration issue if your drivers are working and the board's working. But we do not support the 2.0 Gen L. It's only been tested on the 1, but looking at the pictures of the 2.0, they look like they're the same board, just with some extra features. But you should probably contact MKS and see if they'll have anything for you. The Zone Star. Oh, the Zone Star is printing really well, actually. Here, I'll. Oh, that's the other one.
Oh.
Here, this is the Benchy that came off the Zone Star. Look at that. Come on, focus. There we go. That's what came off the Zone Star. Not perfect, but pretty damn good. Oh, so this is just a Cali cube. This is nothing special.
It's a calibration cube. What do you think it was going to be?
So Zone Star, no, it wasn't a dumpster fire. Electrically, it was decent. Mechanically, though, there was a lot to be desired. Have you ever considered building a Voron? Yes, I did. Then I joined their Discord and learned about how just unfriendly their people are, and decided not to build one because I didn't want to be associated with that community.
I have a Voron, and it's because I refused to build it because it was just very difficult, and I have a bunch of rail cores, so I didn't really need it. But I wanted a Voron, so somebody else built it for me because there's a lot of Vorons that people give up on just because
there's more Vorons that aren't built than Vorons that are built.
Just because, well, there's just so much. It's a labor of love. Let's put it that way. There's a lot of work put into them.
My opinion of when I went into that community is they were a bunch of elitists.
Yeah.
And that turned me off, and I was like...
I know they've attacked the rail cores a lot just because...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I had a guy... They had in their Discord where people who wanted, like, ABS parts printed could request it. I was like, well, we got a whole farm. And they're like, you're not allowed to make a single dime off of printing any parts for people. I was like... People were asking me. So I was like, you know, screw it. You guys are... They're very neckbeardy, if you guys know what I mean.
Oh yeah, the only experience I've had were them jumping on our railcore reviews and stuff like that and bashing them because they said the design was so off. But it's like we've sold like
aw, thanks, Larry.
Several hundred of them more than the railcores have. Oh, thanks. You want to hold my hand?
I'll hold Joe's hand.
That was enough. I don't like people touching me. So it should make you feel just.
So those of you guys who don't know, Joe is the owner of Project R3D, which does rail cores and the Daedalus. I don't like that name. I'm like, where did the name come from?
So Daedalus was the father of Icarus, who, in Greek mythology, they flew with the wings, made of wax. They were escaping an island they were imprisoned at. But Daedalus was also known as the Great Builder. Yeah. So.
Okay, it does make sense.
Yeah. I've had one guy who went to school and like studied Greek mythology. He's like, well, you know, his son died. I was like, yeah, his son was an idiot. That's why we didn't name him the rail core or the
Wait, hang on. It says really solid. Rub his knee. There we go. Right there. Joe's like, nope.
I just don't like people touching me. I do that to my girlfriend too. She's like, she'll like touch my knee. I'm like, no, please don't.
I still have my Project R3D rail core in the box.
Why? Why?
Maybe it's a kit?
It is, most likely. We didn't sell that many fully assembled because UPS doesn't like them, and they weren't built to be shipped fully assembled.
Lazy.
Lazy, yeah.
The cube's not warping. It just, their first layer speed was really fast, so it didn't. Yeah. That one part didn't adhere really quick.
Well, the starting of the rail core is. Let me know if you have tapped extrusion when you do it, because now we do. We haven't released them yet. We still have them with the Daedalus. We still have them with beta testers, and we've got some new. Tim's got one. Well, we got some new stuff. Like we just got Tim the new base plate for the extruder, but we're gonna be releasing a lot more information because. Now I'm not doing as much for consulting work, so...
What am I eating? I'm eating a BLT. Because I scheduled the stream and started it, and I was like, oh crap, they're picking up foods. I was like, we'll just have a snack on stream.
Just send an email to info@Project R3D, Mike, because we tap all of them in-house now for all of the ones we sell through Filstruder, and we can swap you out.
It seems to be printing pretty decent.
Yeah, that was just that's exactly where it started too, and you can actually see where it kind of gummed up right there.
Yeah,
that's where I lost the first one. That was good.
It's in the installation guide. Hey.
What? Are you talking about the for the Easy AVL?
Yeah, all the printers use the same exact starting code.
If anybody's ever had a problem with the Easy AVL, and it's because you guys didn't read the instructions, don't feel bad. I own a 3D printer company that makes 3D printers. And I went to Tim and I was like, dude, this thing is inconsistent. He goes, well, did you read the instructions? I was like, no. And then he showed me, and it was terrible. Have you seen 3D printing metal parts now being used? SpaceX uses a, it's like, it's so large. I know one of their printers, because they have, we sold SpaceX a 3D printer. And they've got a lot of different things, a lot of experimental stuff for printers. But, yeah, they're actually printing their Raptor. Is it the Raptor? One of the motors for the actual nozzles for the Dragon capsule are 3D printed.
You're my towel, please. Yep. Thank you, Joe.
And it's like a fancy version of the
like the XLS.
Well, it's like a TIG that just keeps laying down more. It's weird. Yeah, GE's been using a lot of 3D printed metal parts, flying planes. Yeah.
Is the printer any good? I don't know yet. It's printing though, so that's a big plus.
And they don't center things that large though. They're using different means.
We'll tear into this printer later. I just want to see how this first print is with their slice G code. What do you think they use to slice it? Do you think they use Cura or S3D?
It'll tell you in the file.
I know. I was going to look at the file.
Yeah, we'll look at it. Savage and Iron Man C3 printed titanium.
We have 78 people watching.
I printed quite a few metal parts with what's it called? Virtual Foundry stuff. And now there's a centering company starting up in Illinois where if you buy Virtual Foundry's materials, you can send it to them and they'll center it for you, which is really nice. Can't remember the name of it though. I don't know.
Apparently, us eating food made 3D printing Llama hungry.
Yeah.
He's gonna eat some
It was
Llama
tasty.
Loops.
What?
It was good.
What's Llama Loops?
Llama Loops is a cereal.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I'm assuming it's a generic of Fruit Loops.
he had a special order, like, brand from China or something. He just had to buy, like, 5,000 boxes of it, so now that's all he eats. Nobody would buy him, so... Only if they're sugary. The cereal good.
Dun dun dun.
That's a lot of infill for
yeah
coverage.
All right, let's see if the fans are only at 89.
But they're not. There's nothing directing them, so.
Let me put up the full blast and see what happens. Wait, 100%.
With no sound change.
I don't think they.
And I can't even feel them. Banging cereal is the best.
The temperature dropped like 3°C. It's recovering though.
Banggood cereal is the best.
Banggood cereal?
A Fruit Loops and Captain Crunch berry flavor.
But it takes 2 months to arrive. You're not wrong.
3D Medics on. Vince. Hope you're staying safe, man. Luckily, I'm not doing so much in the medical field anymore.
Let's do speed.
As of Friday.
Let's go to 150.
Speed?
Yeah.
Or we just cancel the plan.
Woo! I mean, it's got a volcano nozzle on there. It is squeaky. There's some squeaks and squawks.
Squeaks and squawks. Sparks and squeaks. And if you guys didn't know, it is a 3D printer.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm glad.
It's actually 2.5D, but whatever.
I wouldn't know unless it said 3D.
I mean, like, it's no Glowforge 3D printer and laser cutter.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's what they call it. What do they call it? 3D laser cutter or something like that? I don't know. Wow.
What's making the...
I don't know.
It's definitely something that's moving. It's one of the axes.
It's not the extruder. It's down here. I'm sure it's just made worse by having a box to echo through.
Yeah.
How many people watching?
73. Okay. Do we think this is going to have tin wires?
Yes.
Yes? Come on, chat. Tin wires, yay or nay? Because we're going to crack this open in a little bit here.
Will I have a knockoff power supply?
Okay, let's do one at the same time. So, some tin, some not. Yes, yes, of course. You guys have no faith.
Jeez.
Everybody's saying yes. Yes to both. Yes to knockoff. Double yes. Man, there's not a single no. So I guess Lucas Rain said some tin, some not. So that's kind of half.
Yeah, he's a little optimistic.
He's a little optimistic.
Zero faith. Yeah. Yeah, if you've been alive for the last 2 weeks, that's normal. Zero faith.
At this point, what could go wrong?
Yeah.
What more?
Yosemite.
What more can 2020 throw at us?
I heard that
the apocalypse.
I heard they were having tremors at Yellowstone.
Wait, what? Oh.
I don't know. Oh yeah.
I'm putting my money on the 100 to 1 odds. It's a Landy PSU. I don't think it's gonna be a Landy, because like I'm curious to see just by all the stuff inside.
I'm looking at the label. I don't have high hopes for it. Zombie invasion.
So I did just push the print speed up to 175, but it doesn't seem to be
really
going any faster, which means it's probably capped by the acceleration and jerk values in the firmware.
Probably.
So here's the question: do they have the firmware source code available for this? Because they are U.S. company and they can be
COVID-20.
They can be gone after legally, unlike the Chinese companies if they don't have their source code. So hang on their website. I'm gonna switch over my monitor here. So on their website, they have firmware and firmware update instructions. So here's the official Robin firmware. Robin Nano firmware.
Look, it's theirs though.
It's not 2.0. This is not running 2.0. Let's see. This is a RAR file.
RAR. Sorry.
Let's see what's in here. There's no firmware source. And here's the thing. I can tell if it was running Marlin 2.0, the touchscreen would not be this nice branded like graphical one. It would look like Marlin. I really hate to put them in this position, but if they're shipping this with the Robin Nano firmware, that's the 1.0, which is based on Marlin 1, and they're not providing source code, that is a violation of the GPL licensing. Unless it's somewhere on here. Here's the V2. Let's see what's in here. Nope. No source code provided. There's pictures, bin files, more bin files. So they have a 2.0. I'm going to plug this in and see, because here's the thing. On the Bluer, they would not provide or could not provide the source code for the firmware the printer shipped with. So, yeah, 1.0 and a fancy wrapper to make it work with 32-bit board, which is what the Two Trees Bluer was. If they're not able to provide that source code, that's a GPL violation, and they are a U.S. company. And they could have got around that by just shipping it with 2.0.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like they did.
So can you pull it up? I haven't messed with Marlin 2.0 yet.
I have messed with 2.0, but they don't have it. It's not on here. There's no... Like, there's a Robin one, but MKS hasn't posted this. So here's the Nano. Maybe it's in the 3.5. Let's see. Here's 1.0. Bin files, no source code. Here's their history version, which is blank.
But that's not their stuff.
I know, but the point is, if they ship a printer, and this has that 1.0 firmware.
What I'm saying is, like, this isn't specific to this machine, so you're not.
No. I understand that. What I'm saying is, where is the firmware source code
Oh.
for what was shipped to me? I'm going to email them and ask them for it. Because I'm just curious to see what they did to wrap 1.0 into the 32-bit board. Because that's what MKS did, is they wrapped Marlin 1.0 into like this 32-bit wrapper. That's a little squeaky.
Yeah. They may be able to.
They might be able to actually deliver on that.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing is, like, they have good direct contacts.
Well,
clearly,
I have direct contacts with.
What I'm saying is with the company, the OEM, and they may be able to push a little harder and get.
Well, but here's the problem. Legally speaking, if legally speaking, somebody could sue them for violating the GPL license because they are a U.S. company.
Yeah.
And one way they get around that is by shipping it with firmware that they have the source code for. So, but before I jump down that rabbit hole, I'm going to email them and request the source code for the printer, or for the firmware that's shipped with this printer.
Someone's saying SD card. We'll look at it.
I'm going to check the SD card too. I am going to contact them right now while this is finishing up its print.
Squeakily.
I need to look up my order number.
Don't you have your invoice right in front of you?
Oh, I do.
Did you bring the chips in from the garage?
Yes,
or
I
the
did.
shop and then never eat them?
Yes, I did.
I just wanted to steal your chips.
Like it's done printing.
3D printing llama. I believe you have to state your relations with the llama loops for us to believe you. We need to know if you were paid, but it sounds suspicious. Can I take it off?
Yep.
So that's where it was curling up.
Hang on. Hang on. It's not on autofocus. Hang on. Let me change it. Hang on. There we go. Back on continuous autofocus. There you go.
You see it's just pulled up there.
Hang on. Let me turn the ring light off. I gotta stop using white filament. There you go. Back it up.
Yeah.
Back it up a little bit. You're hitting the max focal
I can't
point.
even see it.
Hang on.
I'm blind as a bat, so. Let me see the booger.
There
That's what caused that to look like it was coming up. Otherwise, it was all good.
There. Yeah, no. It just
At least
didn't
first
in
layer.
here. Yeah.
There's other issues with this print that we can talk more about.
So it's not terrible. Clara, you're not helping.
No. That's okay. Poking.
Little under extruded, but not bad. I mean, the layers look decent.
How's the top look?
I'm just hang on. We're getting there. The cooling's definitely not good.
Nope.
You can tell right there with the overhangs on the X, so it was like this.
Yeah, that should look pristine with PLA like that.
Yeah, this cooling is not very good.
Those
you can see that right there.
Those some boogies.
Yeah, it did not skip steps. That it did not do.
Yeah, there's some under extrusion because
It could just be that it was I cranked the feed rate up.
But it could also be poor cooling that's causing these corners like this.
Yeah. Yeah, the cooling is not good. You can see so there's overheating on here. If we look right here, you can see on the tip of the Y here where the V is. That's poor cooling. On the sides here of the X where it's going up, and the tip of the X up top here, like right there where the V portion is, that's poor cooling. So despite it having two 4010 fans, it's not cooling very well because there's no ducts.
Yeah, and especially since they're using a Titan, or not, sorry, a Volcano.
A Volcano, yeah.
You really need to have some extra cooling there, even if you're printing just PLA and you're printing it like you would with a 0.4 nozzle or everything else. You've got a lot more heat being pushed into that plastic because you're doing it over a larger distance.
Yeah, I mean, we could slice it, but it's still not going to change the fact that this cooling is not good.
No bueno.
They just have two open fans just pushing air, not even on the print. It's going down like this. It's not even going at the nozzle. There needs to be ducts on here to direct the airflow from these fans to where the nozzle is.
No good.
Alright, so I'm sending them an email saying, hey, I received your Gear version 2 machine. I'm not able to locate the firmware source code for the firmware that shipped on the machine. Can you please provide me with the full firmware source code for the firmware that shipped on the machine, not Marlin 2.0, as that is not what shipped on the printer. Thank you for your time. Alright, so let me see before I hit send if it's on the SD card.
One thing, with the way this carriage is set up, all of this is held on by these 4 screws that are going through the fan.
Yeah.
If you really wanted to redesign this, you could just take this off, pull this off, and then make some decent ducts to make it work, but you shouldn't have to.
So here's their firmware. Here's the cursor files for the firmware. So here, if you guys see it here, so here's the cursor file for the firmware and for the config. Bin files. That's in Chinese. Okay, that's just what's printed on there. Look at the metadata on here.
What's the date on it?
October 18th, 2019. Software and installation instructions. So this is Repetier.
Yes.
I'm just seeing what they have on here. If there's any giveaways of the manufacturer who makes this for them.
Someone said it's 2 trees. They do that. The fan's just there. No ducks. Run some ducks. Someone failed.
Yeah, so there's nothing.
It has a weird.
So they have. I mean, there's not much in here.
It has a knockoff volcano block.
Yeah, it's like the older style one.
Yeah.
Okay, cure profiles.
I don't know who. Leslie Fleming. Leslie, I think that's the person who does the. This is something we were working on before the next version.
Well, Leslie, if you work for ZYLtech, where is the source code for the firmware? Oh, so it's S3D for the Kali Cube.
Oh, okay. You guys need to be careful with that.
I was just about to say, I don't know if you guys.
They can.
Yeah.
They've threatened us before.
So here's a problem with sharing simplified 3D files.
I think Leslie works with Crystal. I think I've talked to Leslie before.
So they actually have in their terms of service that you cannot distribute G-code files.
Yeah, they're kind of dickish that way.
Yeah, they are. I don't agree with that. Where is it? I thought I saw it in here because I was like, oh.
Sadly, I've been roped into S3D.
I mean, I like it as software, but the company is kind of weird.
No, it works with our workflow. But the problem was, like, we've had so many people like, can you send us a file? And it's like, yeah, I can send it in S3D, but legally I can't.
Yeah,
so
it was somewhere in here.
Just a heads up.
Yeah, you have to be careful with that. We don't share any G-code from S3D.
I would not suggest anybody buy S3D at this point in time. So don't waste your money on it. Ooh, I would not agree with Idea Maker. Ooh, no. I have it for Erase 3D and I hate it. Oh yeah, Chris. Leslie, this is Joe from Project R3D. I used to buy a bunch of rails from you guys.
Did they change their TOS?
We've talked before.
Because they used to have in here, unless I'm not seeing it.
They've threatened people recently, so it's still in there. But Leslie, yeah, the S3D thing is something to look into, and then Tim was looking for the source code. I must not have used the new version because every time I rarely use the Raise just because I absolutely hate it. But every time I open it up, it's like, do you want to update? I was like, do I want to waste more space on my computer? No.
Maybe it's in their actual... Yeah, this is different. I'm going to copy this. Let me see, because I thought proprietary rights, let's see. I think it's in the software.
Sell, transfer, go back up. License, copy, reproduce, distribute, transmit, display, perform, publish, or create. Oh, okay. Such as material.
No.
Wait, it's right. I think it's right there. What materials or assist someone performing? You agree that? Yeah, it's that. I think it's that one. Yeah, downloading any information, content, or images from the software other than the end product of the software designed to create does not transfer the rights of ownership.
No, that's not it.
There's some. Yeah,
I think it was specific. Hang on.
One nice thing is they did get the colors to match for their company. Leslie, was that on purpose? Did you guys go after this machine so it would match? If so, you're smart.
Yeah, but the point is, you gotta be careful with sharing the S3D G-code files because it's technically their property according to their license.
Yes, of course. Leslie, can you tell us who the OEM is?
Some of the source code or object code. Right here, all copies of the software made by you, as well as any output generated by the software, shall bear the proprietary markings of Simplified 3D borne by the copies transmitted or provided by Simplified. Yeah, so you can't share the G-code files.
She's asking that included in an email.
Can I include what in your email?
I'm guessing this information.
Because this is clearly S3D. You gotta be very careful. They're very, very anal about this. Like Joe said, they've gone after people for this as well.
There's been several times that people in the Railcore community have said, "Hey, can we share this file we print on the Railcore with Railcores?" And they said, "No." Even though we sliced it, we've had someone make the file. They get real douchey about it. But if you want to just like bookmark where it is or something.
Yeah. Yeah, so, right here, here's another one. You are expressly permitted to some licensing, selling, renting, leasing, acting as a service, or intermediate output of the software.
What's really crappy is they say you can't be a service bureau either using this. That's trash.
Yeah. But anyways, not trying to dog on anybody. I'm just making you guys aware of it in general. You guys can't, even me, I will not send people my G-code files from S3D because I know that's in their license. And I don't want to deal with them, especially since, we're a company.
And there's so many better options right now.
The problem is changing my workflow away from S3D.
Well, for them, if they're doing it for this kind of thing.
Yeah. If you're a home user and you aren't already married into S3D, then, it'd be good to look at some of the alternatives. But at this point, we're so heavily invested in it, and it's part of our workflow that to change it at this point would be a huge pain in the ass.
But one thing, Leslie, you guys have a decent community, especially on like Facebook and stuff. Reach out to some of your people that have these and ask them for their config files for like Cura, and some people are probably using like Prusa Slicer. There's a lot of different ones, but ask for it, and a lot of them will give it. And ask them if it's okay if you guys can send it, because posting that stuff just makes it easier for your customers to get going.
My only question here, when was this? This was sliced. This was sliced
April 10th of 2022.
Hang on 1 second, guys. Anyways, just was asking Joe some stuff offline real quick here.
I think a few have been shared. Yeah, but I mean, like, having that available on your guys' site will make it really easy.
Then other
people's profiles. And then
Oh, this is binding.
Yeah, it's adult talk time. But yeah, but especially the way Simplify does things, I would suggest working with one of them that have a decent amount of print time on one and getting their profile if it's okay with them and sharing that, and then you guys using it just to keep you guys safe as well.
Yeah, Leslie, I did submit the email. I mentioned the S3D license thing. Just to give you guys a heads up, whoever's going to review that. But you guys do also need to provide the source code for the firmware that's on this machine. Because as a U.S. company, now I'm not going to do anything about it, but I'm just letting you know, legally speaking, if a company buys this and they want to be dicks about it, even though you guys didn't make this board, they can legally sue you guys because it's a violation of the GPL license. And MKS, I understand MKS is the ones that aren't giving that source code out because I've tried to get it from them through Bluer. But the problem is you're in the US and you can, not you personally, but like ZYLtech can be gone after legally for violating the GPL license. So that is something to be aware of. The way to get around that would be to ship the printer with the new 2.0 Marlin version that you guys have the source code with. That's what you have to do.
Yeah, we need ZYLtech to stick around because I don't know what I would do without crystals. So
okay, this is a nitpick here. This plate is flush up against this, except these holes here are completely, well, not completely. There's a tiny bit. This is not getting ventilation. How's the power supply supposed to exhaust its heat when over half the fan is blocked?
It's mostly blowing it back into the case.
Yeah,
you're just circulating hot
that's
air.
not good, especially on a power supply that, from what I can tell, we'll find on a sec here, looks to be just a generic Chinese one that we see in most printers. Let me turn my ring light back on here. So, but yeah, just so you guys know, if you use S3D, I like it as software. I don't like the company.
Oh, yeah. Especially for a business workflow, it's great.
Yeah, so let's see. Yep, it's just a generic power supply. Guess what we get to do? We're going to check the grounding.
All right, I'm going to flip this really quick. I want to look at the...
You got to get up all up in there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's a Changling.
Yeah, it's 36024.
Yeah.
P36024.
So,
well, I just want to look at the...
Yeah, so the Meanwhile LRS that we sell will fit in here. All right, let's check. You guys want to take a guess on if it's actually grounded or not? We're also going to check. So there's ferrules on the hot end. I'm going to check the wires on the bed because the bed is using the built-in MOSFET. And you got 2 wires going here to power all this. So, HY1403s for the MOSFETs. Those are decent little chips.
What brand was that?
For what?
Power support?
Changling. Creole uses them. No ground? Let's see. All right. See, I figure people would be like, torn. Yeah, I would put money on it that Two Trees is the company that does Two Trees, whether it's actually called Two Trees or not, they're probably the OEM for this printer. All right, let's see. Oh, ground fail, 1.3 ohms.
That's no good.
1.7. Let's see on the chassis. Let me just dig into the actual chassis of the printer.
Let's scrape it.
Grab my Dremel right there.
Your drill's right there.
I'm not going to drill. I just want to scratch off some of this coating.
Yeah.
So the grounding on here is poor, which means if Two Trees is making this, they lied to me about them checking the grounding because they specifically told me that they were fixing the grounding on their machines, which is clearly a lie. So I'm just going to expose some of the metal here to get a ground reading. Right there. So we got bare metal. Hang on. I'll make sure I'm getting a good connection. So we're getting 1.9 ohms of resistance between chassis and ground. It's not terrible, but it's not good. So, all right, let's move on to the next test. You guys know what I check next. We're going to check for tinning on these wires. Now, the bed current is going through these, so it's going to be very important that these are not tinned. get my... Oh, wait. I don't need my precision set. I actually have a small flathead here. All right, let's see.
Meanwhile, why aren't you opening up?
What are you looking for?
So I can't find the spec sheet for that power supply. So
This
I'm
one?
looking up a comparable, yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to.
Well,
they don't have data. You can't unless you're an OEM. Chainling provides OEMs, as far as I know. Tin wires. Oh wait. Well, that's weird. Wait, it's not tinned. It looked tinned.
What is it?
It's like a brass crimp.
What? Oh, it's a ferrule.
It's just not a.
It's a ferrule without the
plastic.
the shielding.
Okay. All right. Well,
that's good.
That's good. Yeah. Okay.
Anglets, yeah.
I was like, wait, because I pulled it out and the way the light was hitting, I was like, they're tinned. All right. Well, that's good. All righty. Let's tighten those back down.
Why are my spec sheets not opening?
Are you on the Wi-Fi?
I'm on.
Let's see if the bed wires are tinned.
2 data cards that have 2.
I'm gonna say they're probably not. If they put little ferrules on the hot end and the main power inputs, yep, they got little brass crimps on here. Let me get in there. So that's good to see. So there's little like brass sleeves that are crimped down these, which is good. Way better than tinning. All right.
One thing. The reason why I was looking at the fuse on this before is because it is running a 350 watt, 24 volt power supply. Can't get the spec sheet for this specific one.
It's on the label. The what it'll pull at 110 is on the label.
But what it's not showing is the inrush, the peak.
Oh,
where like
I mean, I got a clamp. I got a current clamp right here if you want to.
Yeah, well, comparable meanwhile pulls at 6.2, and that's only at 5.
Okay, so from the wall, the 12 and 350 meanwhiles both pull the same. So at 110 to 120, 6.8 is the max.
Yeah.
So.
Where'd you plant that?
In the
client?
Yeah, it's in the client. What do you want to measure? The AC?
Yeah. Just because if that's the thing, then we.
Well, and you said it's a fast blow, right?
It is a fast blow, but it's labeled fast blow. Does that mean anything?
I guess.
I mean, no.
Why you gotta be so negative, Joe?
You got to for this kind of stuff.
For
it, like, you got to be safe.
All right, let me.
40 amp.
Do you want me to know when it? Or do you want it on all the way or no? Wait, do you want it on, for the inrush? You want it to be? You want me to just kick the bed on and see what it's reading?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. So all right, so AC here. Hold this. So it's got to be on the line.
Yep.
So just hold that. Make sure they can see it. All right. All right. I'm gonna kick the. I'm just gonna tell it to kick the bed and the hot end on. So.
It's like preheat ABS.
Oh wait, hang on. Preheat. Oh, you can't do both. Can you? No, I gotta hang on. I gotta do one or the other. So I'm gonna do the bed first. Actually, I'm gonna do the hot end first. Okay, ready?
Yep.
So hot end's going on now.
And up to 0.8.
Okay. Heated bed going on now.
They didn't adjust.
There it goes. Well, it just kicked on.
All right.
So 3 point. It's not bad. I think we'll be okay at 5.
Yeah. Well, that's just something I was worried about.
Yeah, like, 3.5 is what it's pulling out of the wall.
You just don't want. It's not a safety issue, more as a ease of use. Because if you get a printer and you immediately blow a fuse, that's what I'd be more worried about.
Why are tin wires bad? Because they
do not flex.
They expand and contract, and they crack, and then they create loose connections. So,
did you know that in the aircraft industry?
But the grounding on
solder.
this, do they all crimp everything?
They have to crimp everything because soldering is a no-go because it causes failures.
Okay, so ZYLtech.
It had ferrule-like things. It was
let's see
aglets.
Let's see if they're tomato. They accomplish the same end result. All right, so I'm going to open this up and try to fix the grounding on this power supply since...
We haven't checked thermal runaway yet.
We will, though, since we have it open. I can just pull one of the leads.
Yep. You still plugged in?
No.
Okay.
I'm...
Sure. Scared me.
What kind of idiot do you think I am?
I've shocked myself more times than I want to.
So I'm just taking these screws out of the sides here so I can get in.
Companies 10 wires because they don't want to pay for ferrules or aglets, and
there's plastic on the screw heads here.
What?
Like to prevent, or like from the, this is the power supply manufacturer.
Oh.
All right, so typically on these, this screw right here in the corner is where the ground connection comes from. So if that's not tight, then the ground gets a bad connection like we're seeing here. So you can just unscrew this. Oh, that was barely even, it wasn't tight. It was just barely even in there. So I'm just going to give it a tighten down right there, just a little snug. And now I'm going to check the grounding again.
But that's definitely something you don't want an end user doing, what he's doing?
Yeah, no, this is a fail.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, this is a fail. I'm not going to go bother ZYLtech and have them send me a new power supply. But this is stuff they should be checking.
That and they should contact their OEM.
Yeah, so I'm getting like 0.4 now from ground to chassis. And this was at like 1.9, and now I'm at 0.6. So just by here, here, Joe, actually come over here and go around this side so they can still see this. And I'm going to loosen that screw up so they can see that that's where it's making contact. So here's where I expose it. So hold that one there and hold this one here. Okay, people can still see. So I'm going to loosen this screw up here. And that should, unless I just pushed it down. Let me pull up the board a little bit. There we go. Oh, see how it went completely open? So I'm going to slowly turn this. There we go. See? This is the screw that actually gets the grounding through. So as I'm, I loosened it up a little bit. And if I pull the board, it goes back. But if I tighten it down, we get a better connection. So 0.5 is still honestly high. Just for comparison, just so you guys can see, versus these Chinese power supplies. And meanwhile, the Chinese power supply, when I say Chinese, I mean these are generics, okay? So, but if I take a meanwhile here, okay, and I stick my probe across the ground in the chassis, we're sitting at, I wonder if this meter is not reading high. Where's my Klein? Because usually they read close to 0. Where's my Klein at?
Back in here.
Yeah, that has a meter on it. Let's use the Klein.
Test both again?
Oh, I'm going to test. Yeah, I'm going to test both again. Because it could be at 0. That could just have a lot of resistance. Those are cheap leads. But I know the Klein is more accurate.
No, it's a Klein. That's the reason why you spend the big bucks.
I didn't spend big bucks on it. Alright, here, hold that. Alright, let's check it with the Klein. Yeah. So 0.1. So it was still reading high. That higher value was definitely valid. But you can see here, this is a mean well. Hang on, let me screw this terminal in. Because this is a power supply I've abused the shit out of. I'm not even joking. There you go, 0. So, but let's just for posterity's sake here, can you hold it on that with your other hand? Hold it onto where I ground it off. Come on! So you see here, as I mess with this screw, the resistance increases. Versus when I tighten it down, I can't hold the. Hang on, let me tighten it down. And take the reading. Put on the. Are you on there? Yep. No, you're not. There you go. Push. There you go. So there we go. Now we got a good ground. So I just got to remember now that this actually reads a little high when we're in the low resistance range. I mean, this is like a Home Depot special.
Yeah.
So
Wind it back up?
Yeah, we're done with that.
Huh?
Huh?
Winding up wires. Monitors.
Oh, wait.
Monitors.
Might help if I put it on the right way.
But hey, don't open up your power supplies.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
Let Tim shock himself.
It's unplugged.
But still, don't open up power supplies.
And the caps that store the power, those get discharged pretty quickly.
Yeah, you make sure you lick those first.
No. Any residual power is going to get drained by the printer. Like, if you disconnected the output, yeah, it's going to hang around a little bit longer, but...
If you want to make sure, lick the caps.
So, ZYLtech I'm going to make them a little document of my findings here and send them a report. But this grounding issue, it's not excusable, but this happens on the Creality machines, this happens on ANETs, all these cheaper power supplies typically have grounding problems. It's very common and it's not proper. So, and with ZYLtech being a US company that's reselling this, they're legally liable for any issues that happen with this machine. So they should be checking this and not trusting their supplier to actually do this. Because if we were selling machines, well, I wouldn't be selling machines with these kind of power supplies in them, but if we, hypothetically, let's say we would be checking the ground and doing this check that I just did and making sure that screw is tightened. So...
And Leslie, if you're still watching, like, this is something you guys can go to an OEM and tell them that these things need to be changed.
Yeah.
It's just...
Well, you still need to check them.
No, absolutely. But at the end of the day, like, it's saving your guys' ass in the long run just because if something does happen.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, the Chinese company's selling this. Good luck suing someone in China. However, if ZYLtech is selling this and this is their name on this printer,
yep.
Yeah, that's not good if this type of stuff happens.
Watch those caps. With your shocking experience.
They're discharged
for
at that
second.
Except it's going to get discharged because
absolutely.
This is still loaded. Yeah, so if I disconnected these, turn the power supply on for a sec, yeah, you could get shocked by these, but it's going to get drained. These caps in here, which are the mains caps, they're going to get drained because this is actually putting a load on it. I'm curious to see what brand of 2208s they're using. Are they the MKS or are they the ones that... They're definitely in Stealth Chop standalone mode. Let's look under here. Okay, so these are the better ones. These are the MKS 2208s. Okay. Hang on, my light is washing this out. Let me turn it off. Or turn it down. So these are the better ones. So this is why we didn't have step loss like we saw in the bluer. And Two Trees told me they were switching to these drivers, so because these are a lot better quality than the ones they were using. So all in all, there's nothing like special that sticks out in terms of issues on this. It's just standard Chinese printer stuff. I'm not going to get into doing firmware on this tonight because this one's going to be a little more pain and it's going to be very boring. But what we can do is, what do we got left? So we did the ground test, thermal runaway. All right.
Ooh, nano.
All right. So it was Leslie here because someone was like, "Oh crap, Tim's tearing down one of our printers."
Tomato just searched.
Shit. Shit.
I think this is the only assembled thing, or like ready to rock thing. Everything else they have, I believe, is
kits.
Kits, yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna disconnect one of the heater leads. All right, and go ahead. Let's preheat. So there we go. All right, we're telling the hot end to heat. Let's see if it errors out.
Is this machine better than the ANET A+?
I would say yes.
This one doesn't need a fire extinguisher that we know of?
The A8 has thermal runaway protection. So what we're going to watch here, so I'm telling it to heat. If it has thermal runaway protection enabled, this light, you'll see this shut off if the firmware is set up correctly. So we're watching for this light to shut off because we told the hot end to heat, but I disconnected one of the legs, so it's not going to heat.
That was your dog.
Yeah, I know. She's irritated.
Pouting.
So why do companies tin wires? I think it's just for ease of assembly.
Yeah. And the fact that they don't want to pay for the...
Then they don't want to pay for the... They're cheap. And I guess even ease of assembly is technically a cheap reason. These fans don't move that much air. It still hasn't triggered it. That MOSFET is still on.
I can feel the air over here.
What are you talking about?
I can feel the air right here. With my face.
Oh, this one, yeah. Yeah, no, they're not super high. It's good. It's enough to keep it cool.
But getting
getting
the bottom panel with that.
Yeah, I was gonna say the bottom panel. I don't want to block this, but this doesn't even line up. This ain't even close to lining up with this. And
so you're just blowing the hot air back into
the case. I don't like that at all. That MOSFET's still on. So as long as this light's on, that means that MOSFET is still putting out power.
Did you unplug it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm waiting for thermal runaway to trigger at this point.
It still says it's going 120. You just did the bed, right?
I did the hot end.
So,
it's at 20. So 25 is the current temp. 120 is the target.
Okay. I just didn't know why.
So I mean, I even show here.
I thought you did the bed. That's why I saw.
I'm also use this multimeter for just measuring voltages and stuff. This is a really crappy one, but if I put it across here. You can see here I still got 24 volts going out, which I'm surprised thermal runaway hasn't triggered yet. Can you see? I can't see my screen. Can you see the multimeter on my over there? Can you see it on the screen?
Yeah, 24.3.
Yeah. So what I'm waiting to see is this shutting off because it should trigger the thermal runaway. Now remember the Chiron, I think it had that set for like 5 minutes or something.
Which is not good.
No, it's not good. Luckily, this light is an indicator. So what we want to see is that light shut off any time now, because I don't know how long it's been going. Because if it shows an error on the screen,
nope.
No. But this light indicates if that MOSFET's on or not. So we want to see that light turn off. It's been a good amount of time, at least 2 minutes now. Our firmware we set to 60 seconds for the hot end. And a little more...
E3D, or Duet does it for 15.
15 seconds?
Yep.
That could get some false triggers. I found 60 is a good middle ground between like conservatively setting it and not too aggressively.
I leave ours like that just because we're using a 40-watt heater. So we know it's pumping. But...
Well, going by the color code, I think this is a 50-watt heater on this. This is the black and white. Typically, black and white is 50-watt.
Heaters are hard to do well.
I could just measure the resistance across the two lanes.
Yeah.
And that would give me the wattage.
Well,
I'm gonna predict that this based on the wire color.
If it's a 50-watt heater, I wouldn't expect like high-end 50-watt. I would expect it to be like the Slice 50-watt heater.
It still hasn't turned off.
Yeah, well, because like the way heaters are made, you can really have just like a heated bed. You can have a really crappy heated bed. It's all by how it's made. Check the wattage.
Yeah, I'll check the wattage.
The watt.
I'm really actually surprised that this hasn't turned off already.
Yeah, there's nothing on the screen.
Well,
still
it does. I don't care. Actually, don't even care what the screen says.
Well, I was wondering
if that light is still on, that means that MOSFET's still on.
But I'm just wondering if this
just so, and if anyone wants to argue with me, here we go. Look at, we still got 24 volts coming out of that hot end output.
No bueno. And you just bought this.
I literally just bought this.
What was your purchase date?
5/13. So. I've had it for a couple of weeks. It's been sitting in my garage for about 2 weeks.
But it's not an early unit.
It's not an early unit. No, this is a regular one that you can go buy right now. Is it just really long, or did they not set it?
No excuse for no thermal runaway. I mean...
Well, it's their liability.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless it's literally taking this long. If only I had the source code to look at to see what they set it to.
Somebody scrub back in the video and see how long we've been.
Yeah, how long has this been going? This is one of the reasons why I want the source code and why them going, well, here's Marlin 2. We don't have 1.0, but here's Marlin 2. I can't validate the settings that they have for this. And I don't know how long you guys want to wait, but this should have turned off by now. This MOSFET is this is still be trying to send power to the hot end.
If it was actually running away, we'd be well up in the 300s right now.
Oh yeah, that block would be cherry.
Oh yeah.
Especially if that's a 50 watt heater, which I'd put money on.
6+ minutes, someone says.
Oh Jesus Christ. That's I don't want to dump on them.
There's Leslie. I'm still here. We appreciate the feedback you guys have.
Do they have... Hang on. I'm looking at the config file.
Leslie, do you have...
The source code.
The source code. Because that'd fix a lot of stuff right now.
I'm looking for...
And that gives us a lot of options to give feedback on if we can see that source code.
Okay, so here's the thing. According to the config file... and here's how I know this is running Marlin. These are the same defined statements as in Marlin. I don't want to cut away from this because this still hasn't triggered. If this config file is to be believed that came on the SD card that configures the printer, which we know it's been configured, it says that the protection period is set to 80 seconds. We are well past 80 seconds. We are well. This is how you know they ripped off Marlin. Look at all the settings. They're all the
that's straight up Marlin.
It's Marlin. So
yeah, but we don't have it for the specific machine, so it doesn't really tells us nothing.
This is the config file for this printer from the SD card. This is off the SD card that was used to configure that board for this printer.
Yeah, but it's not.
No, this is.
Yeah. Oh no, I understand it's off that, but
this is the file that is loaded on this board right now.
Then why isn't it kicking on?
Maybe the firmware is not set up correctly.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The actual firmware. This is just a config file.
Yeah.
And I didn't care if there's an error on the screen or not because that MOSFET's still on.
Yeah. No, there's nothing on the screen. You would think it would at least tell you a warning or something.
No, there's nothing. Is it still responsive? It is.
Yeah. Let's adjust the temperature.
Just crank it up. Because I told it to heat to 120.
Yeah, it's up to 160 or 260 now.
260? Okay.
Yeah. Let's see where it caps out at.
It's probably like 290.
270.
270?
8 minutes.
8 minutes is enough for a hot end to do some serious damage to the printer. If it's just blasting, or like there's a short there.
Oh no, yeah, it would.
Things would be melting.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing. Think about this. Okay, let's say that thermal ran away, and it's pumping all that heat into that heatsink. That heatsink gets soaked. It could melt the fan and it falls off.
Yeah. That, and also you've got it's mounted to an aluminum block back here, which is mounted to plastic wheels. So if it's left on overnight and this falls off because the plastic wheels, the belt is held on to metal, melts the belt. And then it'll just be laying down on your bed.
Yeah.
Or next to your printer on your wood table or something like that.
This is worst case scenario.
Yes.
But this should have shut this hot end off if this firmware was set up correctly. Now here's the thing. You guys could be like, well, you could just update the firmware. Most people, I don't know if you know this, most people are not actually updating their firmware on their printers. They're using them out of the box. This is why it's important to have... Oh! It finally shut off.
It didn't say... Oh, it just went back down to 0 on here. It doesn't say anything.
There's no errors?
Nope.
It just shut off. I just noticed. It just shut off. So it's on, but that's... What is it? 10 minutes? Just update the firmware is nonsense. Yeah. I agree. No, it shut off, but that's...
That's long enough to... The whole thing is, we may be thinking worst case scenario, but that one person with that A-net that burned down their room... That was worst case scenario.
There are a couple people. The guy burned down his entire garage.
But worst case scenario does happen. And the whole thing is I love ZYLtech.
The problem is ZYLtech can get sued and lose their entire company, whereas China, they're not going to get anything done to them.
Leslie knows that I love Crystal. She's like, she saves my ass more times than not.
I think Crystal's the one who gave me the deal on some LCDs when we were short.
But,
okay, so we're at we're at 12.1 ohms. So yeah, that's probably, I think it's 50.
Should be 50.
Yeah. So that's just doing Ohm's law. I don't never memorize Ohm's law. I always use this website. So 12. Yeah, so it's like 47. It comes out. This is a 50-watt heater. I called it.
But these are all things that can be set. Someone says it seemed like 80 seconds on high temp. Let's do it again. Let's do it. Let's move it up to 250
and do it again
immediately and see if it goes 80 seconds.
Hang on.
Now, do it now. Plug it in.
Plug it in. I mean, I'm just touching the. I'm disconnecting one of the legs again. And that's a negative lane, so I don't want that touching because that will heat up the hot end. So this needs,
put it in your mouth.
Put it in my mouth. Okay, so go ahead. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? Actually, here's what I'm gonna do. Just so there's more, even because obviously the light, and people are like, well, how do we know the light is the thing that tells it it's done? Well, fine.
But even if only does it at high temps, 120C is still...
It's still going to run away.
It's still going to... Well, yeah, exactly.
It's still going to run away. So here, I'm going to put my multimeter probe into...
Because this is really testing if your thermistor fails.
Yeah, that's true too.
So, and we're unplugging the heater wire.
Okay, so let's go ahead and turn this on. We should be reading basically nothing, okay? So go ahead and turn the hot end on. So you'll see the multimeter kick up to 24 when he turns the hot end on, and you'll see this LED turn on. Yeah, you gotta hit preheat, and then there you go. Just hit plus. No, that's heat of bed. There you go. Turn it up. Okay, so you can see here the hot end kicked on.
At 250 now. We're at...
Do like 200, because that's what most people print PLA at. Do 200. Oh, it timed out. Do 200, because most people print PLA at 200. No one's. This is a PTAV Honda. You're not going to run 250. 200. Okay, 200.
We're at 1058 and 10 seconds. So it's more like 1058 exact. Let's go by that.
Okay, so
we should be... If it is 80 seconds, we should see it at 1058 and 20
Yeah, according to this, the thermal protection period is 80 seconds.
Yeah. But yeah, like we said, if it doesn't activate until you're hitting like 180 or above, that's still an issue because
it is an issue.
You can set, so a lot of people you can set like a standby temperature, and if you set a standby temperature for like 150, so you don't have like a seepage or anything like that while you're waiting in between prints. If your thermistor fails at that point, it's done.
Right, because here's the thing. Like, let's say I told it to heat to 120 just to have an idle temperature, and it's not going to trigger 120. Well, if there's still a problem with the hot, it's still going to tell it to heat.
Yeah.
Okay, so it did actually kick in at 80 seconds, but at a higher temp. It's still not this firmware. There's still something wrong with this firmware. It should be active once you are sending power. Yes.
To that.
As soon as you're getting power going as soon as that MOSFET is told to turn on, thermal protection should be.
And there are some materials you can get to play with that print below 180.
Like some of those wax casting ones? Yeah.
A lot of the like the lay mold stuff, some of that stuff prints at 150.
You know, if they would have just sent me a pre-release unit, I could have helped out a lot.
So strange. Yeah, that is kind of weird. I've never seen that. Have you?
No, this is the first time. And this is why having the source code for even this older firmware, and you going, well, we have the 2.0 source code available, and this is MKS doing this. Well, we have the 2.0 source code. Let's just pretend like the 1.0 doesn't exist. Well, it does exist. You sent me this 1.0 source code on this board. You distributed it. It's on the SD card. Under the GPL license, you legally have to provide the source code. Period. There's no way around that.
It doesn't say anywhere in there where it will take either. Like what's the minimum?
I'm assuming it might go on the min temp.
The min temp right there.
The min temp is 170.
Oh, is it 170?
So I mean, we could test it again if you want. We can set it to 169.
65. Yeah.
169 and see if it stays on. Here, let's keep doing it. I want to be thorough. Because I'm assuming that
she does not have the
source code.
No.
Well, if somebody requests it and they can't provide it, they can be.
Yeah, you guys should have enough clout, especially since you're selling this OEM's printer, that you should be able to push for that. And that really helps a lot of people.
Yeah.
And saves your guys'
Because here's the thing, 2.0
has
has a completely different LCD interface on this board versus the 1.0, and it's not as user-friendly, so unless you get the source code, there's no way to fix this.
I don't know how to bump with... Oh, I got it. Never mind, I got it.
Oh, hang on, here. There we go. 1, 2, 3, so what? Let's do 169.
We're at 169.
I'm going to assume that it's using the min temp as the threshold.
Yeah. What are we at?
Give it a sec.
What's the 81?
That's the temp sensor on that thing.
Oh.
So like 11:01:20.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be right back. I have to use the restroom. Take it over, Joe.
I think I'm gonna take a beer.
Go ahead. Grab one for me too.
I need a burp.
Woo!
Never mind. I found the mother load. Who wants to have a good time? Well, Leslie, when you go into work tomorrow, or if you guys are even going back into work right now, tell Crystal I said hi, because she's amazing. ZYLtech has helped out with a lot of things. We actually use their stuff, their lead screws for the rail core, and right now the couplers and the anti-backlash nuts. So they're great, especially their sales team. But yeah, like this is stuff which will not only hurt people, but it'll hurt ZYLtech if something does happen. We don't want that happening, because a lot of us use their stuff. They have been an asset for a lot of the community. So, but yeah, and another thing, Leslie, is if you guys can get ducts, you guys could probably even print something for these for the fan on the hot end, because currently, like that was I'm not sure if you were here when we printed, but we were having some issues with, let's turn this down. We were having some issues with the cooling. Not cooling quite enough. It probably would have been fine if you were not using a volcano style block, but with that block, you really need to pump up some cooling. The fan should be enough, but yeah, just directing it the right way.
Did it shut off?
I'm not sure. No, it's on.
I wonder if it's using that min temp.
It's got to be.
It definitely was more than 80 seconds.
Yeah. Sorry, I was talking.
Wait, no, it's off.
That light? Which light is it?
It's off.
What are we looking at?
Right here.
Oh, okay.
What other light are you looking at? There's no...
I just saw the light up
one
there.
in the corner?
I haven't been looking at that. Oh, yeah, it says it here.
So, what...
Turned off. Someone says turned off. Light off. How long? So 3 to 4 minutes before it flipped off.
So the question is...
Oh, no. 11:02.
I'm just looking...
That's
so
weird.
Let me show you guys here. Main monitor. So this is the config file. So how these work are, you've got, hang on, I want to open my email.
I'm a Virgo.
How these work is you have two files. So you have the Robin Nano 3.5, which is the actual firmware file, and then the config. And when the board flashes itself, it renames these from a .bin, and then it renames the bin file to .cur, and it appends .cur to the CFG file. What that does is it prevents it from reconfiguring itself every time it boots up if the SD card's in. So if we look at this is the config file, and we can see that this is how we know it's running Marlin 1. You can look at the actual definitions, and these config file definitions are values in your Marlin configuration.h. So, as far as I can tell, these MKS boards are using an old version of Marlin in 1.0 branch. I'm not sure exactly what build, because again, we don't have the source code. I've never seen it for these MKS Robin boards. But they're using Marlin, and they're not sharing the source code. So MKS is in violation of the GPL for that. But since ZYLtech sold this printer, if they get some guy that's like, well, I need the source code, and you give him Marlin 2, and he goes, well, that's not the same source code.
I opened it with vice strippers.
Like the problem is if you get some guy that's got a hard on for the source code, and I'm not going to be that guy. I'm just going to say that now.
There are those.
But there are those people that are like, well, you got to give me the source code for that one. And they're right. You do. You legally have to. Otherwise, they can sue you. And because you're a U.S. company, they can actually sue you, and they will win unless you actually provide that source code. It doesn't matter that you can go, well, the Chinese company we got it from didn't give it to us. It doesn't matter. You're liable for it because you're the one that sold it. It's got your name all over it, all that stuff.
Oh, Matt Johnson. The guy who did the Jubilee does have a rail core, and it's getting worked on. We have the Jubilee. There is a Jubilee in the works.
So, but you can see here, it's got all these settings here, and these are just Marlin settings. You can tell it's using 1.0 and not 2.0 because on 2.0, these offsets for ABL options, these are all one array now on 2.0. 1.0 uses this config value, so that's how you know. So they basically took 1.0, put it inside of some sort of emulation container to run on these STM processors. Weird. Yeah, it's weird. But they basically are they're emulating the 8-bit software on this. This is all my speculation. I'm assuming they're emulating it or they're wrapping it, or maybe they added 32-bit support, but it more seems like they have it in like a little wrapper type thing.
Not
but
like Eminem.
Yeah, it's not. What's that?
It's not like Eminem.
No, not like Eminem. So, but let's look at the actual. So here's the bin file. Okay. So this is all compiled files. You're not gonna. I doubt we're gonna see. Oh, I might actually see here. So you can see here, Unified Bed Leveling System 1.01 active. Let's search Marlin. Oh, look at that. So Marlin EEPROM version 47. And here we go. So this printer is running Marlin 1.0. And here's the source code. So yeah, they have to provide the source code. So here we go. Firmware name, Marlin 1.0.
Well, so someone asked, why don't they just use 2.0? Why do you think they didn't do that?
If this was us doing this printer, we would be shipping this with 2.0, so we don't have to deal with this whole legal issue of them sending firmware out that's in violation of the GPL license.
So how does that get around it?
How does that get around it? Because if it never makes it to the customers with 1.0 on it, and you're only ever shipping 2.0, and you have the source code for the 2.0 build, then you're in compliance.
Yeah, but they have the source code posted for 2.0?
They have the source. I'm going to make 2.0 for this board.
Yeah.
Because it's.
But
the point is, they have 2.0 posted.
Oh, they just don't have one.
They don't have one. So
but
if we go here,
why do you think they haven't? What makes you? Why do you think that they chose just to do one in a package rather than just doing two?
Because 1.0 on this board has a nicer interface on the touchscreen. 2.0 does not.
What? Someone said, "What 1.0? Why not 1.9?"
There is no 1.9.
Boom! There you go.
There's a 1.0, 1.0 whatever. Yeah. 1.191 is the highest version number in the 1.0 branch, or the 1.0 branch, and then they went to 2.0.
Canadian Maker Project. I wasn't making fun of you for not knowing. I literally know nothing about Marlin anymore. I stopped using it about 4 years ago. So
apparently my email didn't send, but I'll send them an email later.
I think I have Leslie's direct email. I'll have.
Okay. But you can see
go with that, Leslie.
But you can see here, they've got all these different releases, and so this is the Nano. If I hit the Nano here, you can see the firmware is just. This is the 2.0 firmware, so it's not the 1.0 that actually shipped to me. So their firmware is not there. Here's a 1.03, which is likely what this is running, because this is probably gonna just be a bin file. I think I already downloaded this, but I'll open it up just to show you guys. Here we go. Oh, no, English.
What do you think the hens are clicking about?
Huh?
I wonder what the hens are clicking about.
Oh. They asked me how long we're going to be. I was like, I don't know. And she's like, what does it mean? I was like, it means I don't know.
Nicole has nowhere to work tomorrow.
What's that?
Nicole doesn't. Neither one of them have anywhere to go to work tomorrow, so they're fine.
Samantha has to walk all the way to the other room, okay?
Yeah. Like that one employee who drove the whole nothingness.
Yeah. So, I mean, all in all, hardware-wise, not bad. Failed the grounding test, though. That's a big no-no. There's something weird going on with the firmware. The firmware that shipped I'm going to switch back over here. So, the firmware that shipped on this printer is not GPL compliant until source code is provided. So, I'm hoping that ZYLtech can leverage their, clout or pull with whoever's making this. I would put money on it that the OEM that's making 2 trees printers is who's making this. Just because, and I'll show you guys why. Because I like to back up what I'm saying here. So let's just... I
just sent you Leslie's email.
Thank you, Joe. You're helpful occasionally.
Once in a while. Mostly just for stirring the fucking pot. But
that's hilarious. You search 2 trees bluer? My video is the first one on YouTube.
That is an ugly mug.
I know it is. I gotta work with what I have, okay?
Wait, they got better fan shrouds.
Yeah, the bluer actually has... The cooling on this is terrible. I'm gonna be honest with you guys.
Leslie, ask for that one.
The cooling sucks. Hang on, I gotta share the screen here. Alright, so here's why I think 2 trees makes it. 1, same board, same touchscreen. The tensioning is the same kind of tensioning.
Leslie, can you tell us who the OEM is? Is it 2 trees?
So look at the shape of this bracket, the tensioner, this
color.
bracket here, the color, the parts that are actually mounted. So this is obviously single Z, but these are the same brackets. I've had.
They have improved it. If that's the same printer, they have drastically improved it with the dual Z. That is the exact same color extruder.
It's just a different... Yeah, it's the same... Yeah, I would put money on that whoever made... Whether it's 2 trees or the same OEM that 2 trees is using.
Also, they have... what was I looking at?
Like, look, you can see. Even the carriage plate's the same. Even the mounting point's the same. Two screws.
Yeah.
2 screws. So... But you can see here, the bluer actually has 2...
Someone says they know what it was.
2 ducts.
No. But I don't know. The one nice thing, if this is like from the same printer, all the springs for the bed are the same color.
Yeah, I'd put money on. And here's the thing: the brand of stepper motors on the bluer were Yusongshine, which is what these are too.
Yeah, but this does have the volcano heater block, which it does not.
Did the bluer have it? No, it has. I think it
probably
had
the reason why it has this fan shroud.
Yeah, which is like very TiVo-esque. That's like what's on the TiVo deep. Tarantula Pro.
Yeah, it's very deep. And
yeah, I'm not a fan. I'll be honest. I'm not a fan of the MKS Robins. They're a very cheap board.
Another premium upgrade they did was the Dual Z.
Right.
And one thing about the Dual Zs is that I found this in my Ender when I upgraded to the TH3D Dual Z for that.
For the Ender 3, yeah.
You have a second plate on the back. And when you're doing wheels like this, it's always good to have a second plate. You don't want it just being cantilevered off the wheel. You want to sandwich.
So here, if we want to talk about the plates, so here's the bluer Z on the left side.
Same thing.
Same thing. They forgot to put a screw. They forgot to put a screw. They forgot to put a screw in there in the photos.
Well, those pictures were way back before they released it too. So.
Yeah, but like I said, there's enough similarities, like the way the Y carriage is set up. Yeah. It might even be the same Y carriage.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the holes are spaced in.
But there's a lot of upgrades you could do to this printer. You can get LDO rails from like Printed Solid. Do that for the
rails are not. Ugh.
I mean, for certain printers like the Railcore and stuff like that makes sense. This it doesn't really, but let's be honest. But do we all make common sense upgrades to our printers? No. No. But you have Woody over there.
Woody is... I have less than $300 into Woody, okay?
Yeah, but still. Did it make sense to buy that and do all that stuff other than for the YouTube channel? No.
I bought it as a joke.
I know you did, along with like the knockoff Titan and everything else.
Yeah. And the Bondtech. God, that Bondtech. I didn't even use
so
it.
dog.
It was just shit. Yeah.
I did buy a few of those knockoff Bondtechs just for fit testing on things because it's like I don't want to lose parts of my Bondtechs because those are expensive. So
I'll compile them some information here. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I mean, would I recommend this? This is going to be a printer mini to spend some time with. If I can get, like, obviously, I'm pretty sure Marlin 2.0 can run on this. In that case, it'll be worth messing with. This is the same power supply that Creality uses, so this will get swapped out with a Meanwhile. And actually, with the 24-volt Meanwhiles we carry, these will be a direct replacement, and they're half height. So their plate is not going to be blocking the fan then.
Yeah.
It's still going to be going into the case, but it's not going to be like right now, this is sandwiched against the...
Yeah, but one thing you could do with the smaller one is get one of the real low-profile fans and add it to that plate.
Here, look at it. It's blocking more than half the fan.
Yeah.
Like, it's straight up blocking more than half the fan.
That is something like, it wouldn't hurt to put... It wouldn't be a crazy jump in price to put a Meanwhile on this.
Right, but then they're going to have to do that unless the OEM will do it for them.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, you can reach out to your OEM. They know how to get Meanwhiles. And the Meanwhile is not like, it's not a crazy price.
You're probably looking at, I don't know how many you guys are buying, but, I mean, in lower volumes, you can get those power supplies. If you're going, like, if they're putting them in China, you could probably get them for $25 a piece. Like,
I get them 25 or less. So... They can get them.
You buy a lot more than we do, though.
Yeah.
Because we pay over $30 a piece for them.
Yeah. Well, no, I have that special account with Arrow.
Yeah. I don't have that luxury.
Yeah. Well, they love me.
We pay a lot more.
I've gotten a lot of free shit from them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Does anybody have any questions? I'm going to just leave this as... right now, my initial summary is, like, physically, it's decent. They have eccentrics on the X, Y, and Z. I like the tensioners. I like the linked belts at the top. I don't like the firmware. The firmware is actually concerning because of the weird reaction to the thermal protection. Yeah. Like, that's concerning to me. The power supply's got the same crappy ground that we've seen on Crealities and Two Trees and all these. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to give people a pass just because, well, everybody has...
I already sent it, Lisa, or Leslie, sorry.
Yeah,
we're not going to show it on there.
Yeah.
He's got it.
So, but basically, like...
I blame the alcohol for the wrong name.
What?
I said Lisa.
Oh, Leslie.
Sorry, Leslie.
Tenard, email our support people if you're in warranty, as long as you didn't cause the damage... And you mounted it correctly.
Everybody press F in the chat for his broken wires.
Yeah, broken wires happen on the sensors happen one or two ways. You either mounted it incorrectly, not per the guide, or you yanked it out. Yeah. So.
But manufacturing defects do happen. So you can't.
We haven't had any so far.
But it's always
a possibility. Yeah. But yeah, just send in pictures. They'll let you know if it's a mounting issue or whatnot. But either way, we do sell. If you are an EZABL customer and like let's say you damage it or installed it incorrectly and it's not a warranty coverage, we will just sell you a sensor to replace it. So and that's for the pros. We don't have any of the older ones. So if it's an older one, it's just time to upgrade because those have been discontinued for over a year now.
And the pros are really nice.
Yeah,
the old ones have shielded cables?
The 3.1s did.
Yeah.
The 3.0s and older did not.
There's a reason why we switched the Daedalus to those, which is why we got these new plates.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. Yeah, Joe. Hang on. There you go.
We got new plates. So now, for people who are getting the Daedalus, if they really want to go back to a BL Touch, we have the mounting points. But we're doing the Mini as our standard.
I don't know if I have one
Pro.
of those. What? Here. I think I just have full size in here.
Yeah, all I saw was the 18.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So anyways, that about wraps this up. Not a terrible machine. I wouldn't call it a CR-10 killer. But I ironically put that in there because, you know, all these YouTube guys are like, the best printer under X amount of dollars, and they get, you know, the clickbait titles. So I don't like doing that, but maybe I'll start doing that so we get more views. But having fun there, Joe?
Yeah.
I'm
just gonna hold shit for your... Like, I mean...
Okay. But I am going to try to get Marlin on this and then get some upgrades supported. So
Canadian maker, what would you be putting it on? Because if it's an Ender 3, I'd highly suggest it.
Hang on.
The answer is always Ender 3. And the printing world, like...
So,
car world.
So anyways...
The Ender 3 is the Miata.
So, on... let me see how they have this wired.
That's like the perfect example.
So, like, this printer is going to need a... what's the word I'm looking for? This one's going to need a supplementary EasyABL installation guide because you will need to... unplug the Z, and then we do have wires we carry already that'll work with this board to go from here to the EasyABL control box. But that's literally, you just unplug this and then get the cable from us. It's like $2.
Okay, so he has one on his Ender 3, but doesn't have one on a CR-10. Put it on your CR-10. That's such a bigger bed for his EasyABL. You need one for your CR-10.
Okay, let's. I'm trying to wrap this up here, Joe.
Sorry.
So, anyways, I am going to feed them back this information, even though this is not a printer we got for free. This wasn't a review unit. We bought it because customers were asking us. They're like, "Hey, this looks like a decent printer. Can you guys get it?" So, you know, they want the ABL on there. They want, you know, the firmware and everything. So that's something I'm going to move forward because I'm like 99.9% sure that the Robin Nano is supported in Marlin too, which means we'll be able to do the same kind of thing we did with the King Run, which means getting firmware out for it. But that's about it. If anybody has any questions, ask them now because we're going to wrap this up.
Want to show them your new graphics card?
No.
That you're putting in your PC?
I'll say that for my personal one. I'm probably also just going to feel old because no one's going to know what that connector type is.
What?
Do you know what that connector type is?
Oh, what is it? Oh.
See? You don't know what that is. Hang on, screw it.
I remember it. I don't know.
Anybody know? If you're under the age of 30, do you know what this connector type is? If you're an old guy, aka over 30, do not answer. Do you guys know what this connector type is on this graphics card? Canadian Maker Project, you're old. I told you not to answer if you're old.
Wait, doesn't that make you old since you're over 30?
I am old.
Yeah.
Is EasyBoard compatible with the PT1000? I haven't tested it with it, but if it's in Marlin and that's just a 2-wire thermistor, you just have to set the thermistor number. Do I support the Mega X with the unified firmware? No, not at this time. I do have a Mega X sitting in the box there. I'm literally the only person here that does firmware development here and can do firmware development. I don't have any other...
PCI Express. Nope.
Nope, it's not PCI Express. It's AGP. Yeah, so basically all the firmware development falls on me, and I prioritize the more popular machines over the fringe ones, unless like last night where I decided to dig out that old Zone Star, and then it just kind of happened.
We both agreed to that Zone Star. If that, we don't know why that didn't get the notoriety that the...
Ender 3 did, because that came out. Anyways,
yeah.
I digress. But anyways, I appreciate everybody that stopped by. I want to thank Joe for stopping by and being on the channel. And I will send Leslie an email with my concerns and thoughts and requests for the firmware. So, anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Have a good night. Oh, where's my intro? Wow!